Every season, a few players pull off goals that are so unique and impossible that we can't help but classify them as magical. Last season saw all kinds of beautiful goals, and it got us wondering what would be the most impossible goals ever scored. So, we made a list. Hello and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we've compiled some of the most impossible goals of all time. From Roberto Carlos's physics-defying shots to Maradona's hand of God. These goals pass the mark for being aesthetically pleasing, technically difficult, unique, and important. So let's get to it. Here are 15 impossible goals of all time. We're starting our list with a hot one. At number 15, we have Roberto Carlos's free kick from Brazil against France in 1997. The curve literally defies physics, completely fooling French keeper Fabien Barthez as the ball tore into the back of the net. This goal is the exact definition of what we meant by impossible goals. The amount of swerve that the Brazilian managed with this kick should be studied because we will always remember Roberto's banana kick. If you're going to be remembered for something, you may as well be remembered for an exceptional goal. We definitely remember this next goal because it is forever imprinted in our heart. At number 14 comes Tony Yeboah's volley against Liverpool. Tony Yeboah, who has since faded away from the football scene, but the Ghanaian left us this beautiful goal as a souvenir to remember him by. Dubbed one of the Premier League's greatest volleys, Yeboah smashes the ball against the David James definitely didn't see that coming. Yeboah will later obscure this goal the following week by scoring another similarly stunning volley before fading away from the game. But those volleys are a poor man's version of what a volley should look like compared to this goal. Number 13 features Zinedine Zidane and his left foot volley in the Champions League final in 2002. Now, volleying a ball that drops from a height is one of the hardest skills to pull off in football, but the rules obviously do not apply to Zidane as the Frenchman shoots the ball with such power and accuracy, and on his weaker foot at that. The now famous goal sealed Real Madrid's title as 2002 champions, with Leverkusen coming in second as usual. If you've already seen our football curses video, you'd understand why that doesn't surprise us. And if you haven't, what are you waiting for? Click on the link below. If volleying a ball is one of the hardest skills in football, then an overhead kick must be the hardest skill to pull off. In fact, it's nearly impossible, but Trevor Sinclair's gymnastics pays off at number 12, giving us an overhead kick so beautiful that it deserves a spot on our list. He hits it with precision off a pace cross with flawless technique, netting the ball in a simply amazing manner. Now, we've already mentioned some great goals, but we're just getting started. This next goal brings back memories of the 1970 Brazilian team, often thought of as one of the greatest teams of all time. And this goal is why we agree. Goal number 11 was a brilliant team goal involving the whole team, with Carlos Alberto bursting out of nowhere to provide the finishing touch to cement this moment in World Cup history forever. Number 10 is Naeem's goal against Arsenal in the Winners' Cup final, and it's so special to us because it's literally one of the first goals of its kind. No wonder a striker, delivering goals is practically the only thing expected from you. But for number 9, no one expected this goal from Eder, seeing as he had never scored a competitive goal for his home country. It was at the 110th minute. The striker had Samuel Umtiti, Pogba, and Blaise Matuidi in close proximity with Patrice Evra and Bakary Sagna, already positioned if he tried to go wide. But the Portugal man didn't relent. He struck a deadly shot from range that successfully avoided Umtiti's dangling leg and flew past Lloris's outstretched arms into the bottom corner of the net, booking his place in Portugal history. The goal was so impossibly beautiful that it even sent Ronaldo into tears. For good reason too. The striker who rarely scores has scored what may be the biggest goal for the Portugal team. Zidane makes another appearance at number 8, where he makes this Deportivo defender look silly. In his defense, Zidane made a lot of his opponents look silly throughout his career. It was just this defender's turn. Anyway, Messi makes our number 7 spot with this beautiful goal for the Barcelona FC team against Getafe back in 2007. Almost a replica of Maradona's efforts, the Argentine beat 4 men from the starting point to the scoring position, went around the goalkeeper and secured secured the win with a powerful kick to the back of the net. What a fantastic goal! We haven't even told you about George Weah's marathon goal coming in at number 6. This absolutely amazing goal was scored in the match between AC Milan and nothing like it since. There are goals on this list that are perhaps more important, but this bicycle kick for Real Madrid versus Juventus in the final leg of the UEFA Champions League quarterfinal deserves our number 5 spot. The spectacular goal personifies the audacity, caliber, and sheer will of Cristiano Ronaldo. Everyone was left stunned as he twisted in midair to make a near-perfect connection with an overhead kick, sending an arrow into the net and through the hearts of everyone present. Even Juventus fans rose to applaud the Portugal legend. At number 4, Ronaldinho broke English hearts at the 2002 World Cup when he scored an unbelievable goal from 38 yards out. The shot went straight into the back of the net, bringing the scoreline to 2-1, with the Brazilians in the lead. The Brazilians, with their amazing trio of attackers, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, and Rivaldo, never looked back on their defeats of every team standing between them and their 5th World Cup trophy. Number 3 has Roberto Carlos making a second appearance on our list. Carlos sees your acute angle and raises you an impossible angle. The Brazilian left back has rightly earned his reputation for his exceptional goals, with his thunderbolts routinely coming in at 105 miles an hour. You could get pulled over by the police for driving at that speed, but this goal is so extraordinary that it's even identified as one of the most watched goals in the history of soccer. The bullet man shoots the ball from one of the narrowest angles. It explodes off his foot, hits the sidebar, and lands in the back of the net, shocking everyone present. What a goal! Rafael van der Vaart's back heel smoothly glides into our number 2 spot with this unbelievable goal he secured while he was still playing for Ajax. To this day, no one has a clue how he was able to pull off this beautiful back heel. Not that we're complaining. And now for our final pick. Number 1 makes us very emotional, and here's why. The 2 most infamous football goals ever to be scored were scored in one day by one man against one team at the Estadio Azteca in 1986. It was Argentina versus England. Diego Maradona, who was just 25 at the time, was on top of his game as usual. The opening goal of the match, accurately dubbed the Hand of God, encapsulated the Argentinians' ability to spark controversy. Maradona punches an aerial ball past England goalkeeper Peter Shilton, but we're not done. Maradona's second goal of the game showcased his brilliance, perhaps better than any other goal he scored in his career. 11 seconds was all he needed. The Argentinian captain did a mazy run, followed by a very clinical finish that left Shilton crawling on the ground along with 5 of his other teammates. Years later, the goal is still considered one of the greatest ever scored on a World Cup or anywhere else. Now you know our top picks for impossible goals of all time. But did you know this about Ronaldo? Click on the link to find out what most soccer fans do not know about Ronaldo.